Breaking tonight, a community overcome with grief after the tragic drownings of a mother and her two young children.
The mom was a sweet and lovely mom. With all my heart, I believe she tried to get the kids out.
While their family says this could have been prevented. And also breaking, a water main break causing chaos in a busy airport. How this is aggravating already slow travel. And an Escalade hits and kills a young woman at this intersection, then speeds off. New tonight, her friend's message to that driver.
Live from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 6:30.
But first, unspeakable grief gripping a community after first responders pull a mother's body and the bodies of her two young children out of this pond. Shatoria Brown's family gave us this picture of her. She was only 27 years old, and her two kids here, just 3 and 5. Troopers say her minivan flew into the water late last night here on Eden Avenue, west of State Road 29. Wink News reporter Chris Grisby live there with some breaking new information on this horrific story. Chris.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tragic situation. A lot of family was here all throughout the day hearing exactly what's the news that has been happening. Right back behind me, you can see this pond here and the remains of the vehicle. And now the family is left wondering, how did this all happen?
There's nobody in the basement. There's nobody in there.
This Immokalee community is left in shambles after this van plunged into a pond late Saturday evening, killing 3 members of a young family.
You know, it's a real tragedy to lose young kids and a mother like that.
First responders found the bodies of 3-year-old Relia Johnson, 5-year-old Majesty Johnson, and their mother, 27-year-old Shatoria Brown, early Sunday morning. The news of their death ripping apart an entire community.
The mom was a sweet and lovely mom. With all my heart, I believe she tried to get the kids out.
According to authorities, the car was traveling down this road when it went flying into this body of water, but the family tells me a simple structure like a stop sign right here may have prevented all of this.
That's why it wasn't a stop sign and barricades up. I don't see any street lights. I don't know if these street lights working or not.
Now, as questions swirl about how this tragic incident could have been prevented, a family is left mourning. Brown leaves behind 3 other children and a community she loved.
We still haven't sunk in yet. You know what I mean? It'll probably take, I would say, more than 6 months, some years. I still got 2 other grandkids. One is 12 and one is 8, so they lost a mom.
And I also reached out to Collier County officials as to why there isn't any type of signage right there. And right now I'm still waiting to hear back from them. But if my photojournalist pans the camera right back around, you can actually see how pitch black it is outside right now. So there's questions as to how she ended up here in this pond. As soon as we get more information, we'll be bringing that to you online as well on air. Reporting live in Immokalee, Chris Grisby, Wink News Now.
Well, thank you, Chris. And also breaking tonight, a busted water main causing chaos at one of the country's busiest airport. This is new video from JFK, New York. You can see the water flooding the baggage claim area. It's another blow for some people already stuck in the airports after delays and cancellations from the week's big winter storm. We're going to hear from some of those travelers in less than 10 minutes. But first, let's go live to downtown Fort Myers, where we're feeling the temperatures drop after the sun set. But your kids are in for a little warm-up tomorrow morning when they head back to school. Wink News is the weather authority. Meteorologist Zach Malak here with your wake-up forecast.
Yeah, the morning is going to be warmer tomorrow. Upper 40s, lower 50s. This morning, we were actually 10 degrees colder than where we will be for tomorrow morning. 54 Fort Myers, 55 for Naples, 52 Port Charlotte. We were also in the upper 30s in our inland communities. Tomorrow, at least 10 to 15 degrees cooler or warmer there. So it is going to be a nice warm-up in store for tomorrow as well as throughout the entire week, as morning temperatures will continue to increase back above average in the lower 60s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Rain showers, though, are on the way. And will these warm temperatures last, or do we have another cool down coming our way? That's 7 days coming up in just a bit.
Zach, thank you. Developing tonight, investigators are trying to track down the driver who hit and killed a young woman, then sped off. It happened last night on West Hickapoochee Avenue and Hendry Street in LaBelle. You can see how busy that intersection is right there. Troopers say an Escalade hit 25-year-old Nicole Black and kept driving. Investigators found the Escalade, but not the driver. And new tonight, we're hearing from one of Black's former classmates.
It's really sad. I think she's one of the first in our class to kind of go, or that I know of. And it's really sad to see that nobody's going to come up, or nobody has shown up to take responsibility for what they've done.
Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information. And developing tonight, dozens of volunteer boaters join in the search for this missing fisherman on Lake Okeechobee of hopes of finding him alive, but those chances are slim. Nikki Kaler went overboard during a competition Thursday. His fishing partner, Bill Casilla, survived the wreck and underwent treatment for hypothermia. It's still not clear what threw the two off the boat. And we're pressing for answers after Lee County deputies shot and killed a man in this St. Carlos Park neighborhood. They still haven't released that man's name and how many deputies were involved. It all started with a domestic violence call.
We met with a suspect armed with a firearm. That suspect pointed that firearm at our deputies, who were then forced to engage the suspect with deadly force.
No deputies were injured. The deputies involved are now on administrative leave. And just hours from now, the trial expected to start for the former Naples police officer accused of molesting two girls. Deputies say Ricardo Vasquez touched the two sisters inappropriately several times back in 2006. The verdict is expected to come by Wednesday. And also tomorrow, we're expected to learn a lot more from this Fort Myers doctor accused of sexually molesting a patient in the middle of a procedure. The sheriff's office tells us they'll give us Asif Chowdhury's arrest report tomorrow. A judge ordered him not to practice medicine or perform colonoscopies while he's out on bond. And this man is facing charges for speeding away from police without a driver's license. Collier County deputies clocked Osvaldo Ramos going 90 miles per hour in Immokalee. He took deputies on a chase for over 4 miles. He eventually stopped after he hit a water pipe. Ramos is facing multiple charges. And new images of an armed robber. Police say this guy ripped off a gas station at knife point. This happened last night in Sarasota around 9 p.m. The suspect walked into a Circle K station and demanded the cash from the register. He left on foot. Call police if you know anything. And this man is accused of stealing items from someone's home worth more than $7 grand. Deputies arrested Angel Perez in Immokalee for breaking into an apartment and stealing 2 guns, jewelry, and cash. He tried to pawn some of it and got $1,000 for it, but both the shop and the victims are pressing charges. And construction along McGregor Boulevard enters its final phase tomorrow. Crews will work along the main road intersections and side streets. They'll be working both during the day and overnight. Construction will stretch from Colonial Boulevard to Manuals Drive. Workers start at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. And the end of cleanup where Hurricane Irma made landfall may be in sight. Marco Island City Council is expected to meet tomorrow to discuss getting rid of the rest of their debris. The chairman of the company hired to do the cleanup will also be in attendance. The company, Ashbridge, is under investigation by the State Attorney General's office. They've been accused of increasing rates and slowing their response time. And this week, Governor Rick Scott will give his final State of the State speech. He's scheduled to make it on Tuesday night. The governor is in his last year of office. His speech is expected to be similar to the one from 2011, focused on tax cuts and jobs. What's different this year? He's recently proposing spending increases and adding state jobs. And SpaceX is finally launching a rocket tonight after a 2-month delay. The Falcon 9 rocket is expected to lift off around 8 tonight from Cape Canaveral. This is the first of possibly 30 Space Coast launches in 2018. The first stage is expected to land around 8 minutes after the initial launch, causing sonic booms. The launch was originally scheduled for November. The low temperatures are killing fish in Florida. A man in Hudson says he found hundreds of dead fish in a canal. FWC says they received multiple reports of fish kills. Anything below 54 degrees is too cold for some tropical marine life. Officials say it's too early to tell how many fish have died, but it could have a lasting impact on our ecosystem. And the deep freeze continues up north, breaking records and creating problems for millions of people. Wink News' Laura Podesta reports on the sub-freezing streets from New York.
Temperatures in the Northeast have hit record lows.
With wind chills possibly down to 45 below zero.
Burlington, Vermont dipped to -20 Sunday morning, just beating the city's old record of -19 set in 1923. Temperatures were below zero overnight in Boston as firefighters battled fierce flames. Ice encased almost everything when the fire was out. Airports are trying to get back on track after several days of cancellations. But a water main break Sunday at New York's JFK caused a new round of delays. Michael Morris has been waiting for a flight since Saturday.
I just want to make sure I can get on the flight tonight.
Are you frustrated, annoyed?
You know what? I'm not that kind of a person. I'm annoyed, but not frustrated.
The good news is this bitterly cold air is set to push out by Monday, when temperatures in New York and the surrounding area will return to a more seasonable but still chilly low 30s.
Compared to this, it's going to feel balmy.
Tropical.
Tropical, yep.
The Midwest is already on its way to a warm-up. The record-tying cold snap Chicagoans have endured for nearly 2 weeks ended Sunday as temperatures hit 30 degrees. Gloria Podesta, Wink News Now.
The temperatures registered minus 37 yesterday at Mount Washington Observatory in New Hampshire, one of the coldest places on the planet. The wind chill was minus 93. It tied with Armstrong, Ontario as the second coldest spot in the world.
Luckily, not too cool across the southeast. Right now, 64 in Fort Myers, 64 in Tampa, but Raleigh, North Carolina is sitting at 24. What's in store for your Monday and work week ahead? The 7-day is coming up.
And this Florida teenager is recovering from severe burns for most of her body, but she's getting extra support from unexpected friends, how they're helping to get her out of the hospital and back on the diamond. The week news is the Weather Authority. It was another chilly morning, but it looks like we're trending upwards.
Yes, in fact, this morning we started off with temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s. Notice that there, 39 Arcadia, 38 Lehigh Acres. That was just around 7:30. 44 was that morning temperature in Fort Myers. 45 was the coldest it got in Naples. But as we went through the day, we actually had those temperatures warm back up and even into the lower 70s for many of us. Finally seeing temperatures back near average. Right now, though, we are seeing them cool down once again. Still, though, in the 60s, so not a bad evening in store for tonight. 61 in Arcadia, 61 right now in Clewiston, 64 Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples, even Marco Island. So again, not a bad evening. If you plan to take the dog for a walk or have any outdoor dinner plans, maybe a late dinner, as these temperatures will continue to cool, but we will actually stay in the mid to lower 50s overnight tonight. Evening forecast, the cloud cover is actually increasing, so is the moisture in the air, and that is the reason we have temperatures on the milder side tonight and overnight. Still cool for many of us, but they will be right around average. No more 30s or 40s for the next 5 to 6 and even 7 days. Pleasant, though, for any outdoor plans you may still have over the next few hours. But again, the cloud cover is increasing from the west, and we'll have a mostly cloudy day in store for Monday. Along with that cloud cover actually comes an area of low pressure. Right now, really across Oklahoma, Arkansas, moving into Louisiana, Mississippi. This area of low pressure is coming closer to southwest Florida. And though it's not going to bring any rain for midday tomorrow, we may see a few small showers overnight Monday through much of Tuesday and potentially even Wednesday mornings. Now, this low is actually going to continue to weekend. This is not our next cold front, but our next cold front actually comes Friday late night into Saturday. So again, the warm up is here. Temperatures are going to continue to be on the warmer side. But in terms of what goes on for your Monday, nice and dry midday, rain showers coming late in the day. Lee County southward at first. These light rain showers increasing from south to north right around 9, 10, and even 11 p.m. going overnight into Tuesday. Tuesday starting off rather dry. Partly cloudy skies in store, and then Tuesday afternoon and evening, we may see a few more showers moving in across our area, though looking to still be rather dry north and south for Tuesday afternoon and also through that evening. Morning forecast tomorrow, notice that big difference. Upper 40s, lower 50s, not as cool or cold as it was this morning and the last few mornings. Mostly cloudy sky, though, temperatures on the pleasant side, and we allow them to be back on the warm side tomorrow afternoon, back above average. Again, still staying mostly cloudy through your Monday afternoon. Rain showers coming late in the day. Right around 8 to 9 p.m. we start to see a few of those pop up. The southeast breeze staying with us 10 to 15 miles per hour, and your sunset at 5:51 p.m. Not a bad afternoon in store. A few rain showers still linger in the forecast for Tuesday. Upper 70s, then drier conditions Wednesday, Thursday, with temperatures back on the warm side. In fact, even hot for a few of you, especially if you are living here full-time year, as well as with the cold air that we just had the last few days. 80s return Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Isolated showers back in the forecast Friday as the next cold front comes, and temperatures next weekend slightly cooler, low to mid-70s.
Zach, thank you. New tonight on Wink News, one Florida teen is working towards recovery from a little help from across the country. 14-year-old Lainey Chesney burned most of her body at a fire pit on New Year's Eve. Her softball scholarships are in jeopardy as she recovers from this nightmare. But for now, she's getting support from thousands of miles away. Wink News reporter Al Peffley explains.
While 14-year-old Lane Chesney undergoes treatment for severe burns, one of her favorite performers is rooting her on through social media.
Lane, I love you with every single bone in my body, and I just wanted you to know that you're in my head, you're in my heart.
The kind words from Billie Eilish may be just what Chesney needs. She was severely burned throwing gasoline on a fire pit on New Year's Eve.
And I just wanted to send as much love as I possibly can to you and your family, and just tell you that you're incredibly strong.
Lane's friends agree.
I think it was a great way to reach out to Lane and keep her optimistic.
Lane, a 9th grader from Fort Pierce, suffered third-degree burns over 95% of her body. The only part of her that was not burned were the bottoms of her feet.
I just keep remembering how she was, and it's very hard to see her like she is now.
A family friend says teachers are donating sick days so that Lane's mother, a kindergarten teacher, can take time off to remain at her daughter's bedside.
I just told her, Lane, you're the strongest kid I've ever known. You're going to pull through this. You're going to be okay. And I meant every word I said.
Charlene Carter says there's a lesson in this tragedy for other young people to be safe and extremely careful around fires.
Lane is very strong. She's the kind of kid that if you tell her she can't do something, she'll do it just to prove you wrong.
That was Al Peffley reporting. Lainey is still in a medically induced coma. She's expected to face another round of surgeries tomorrow.
And in sports tonight, an athletic achievement that requires a lot of training and perseverance.
It's my 40th birthday today, and it just happens to be my first triathlon ever.
Top triathletes in Naples this weekend share their inspiration and pushing themselves to the finish. Up next with your local sports.
I was impressed with those triathletes. Wow.
Yeah, it was really incredible, and it was fun to see people of all ages. You had some younger
Yes.
kids out there, you had some older people out there, and the way that they pushed themselves. I mean, I can't say I've competed
Right.
in a triathlon, maybe someday.
I've done full
marathons.
marathons. Yeah.
Yes,
it was
it
a nice,
was.
nice weather for them as well. But it's just amazing to see people of all ages do that. So, well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later tonight. Have a good night.